move away, it's probably because I'm burping.
you move out when you start talking.
Can you hear it? Because I'm like,
I can't hear that part.
oh, yeah, that's good. It's the Red Bull that only makes me burp.
No, you started burping when you drink drinking beer.
Kirin Beer. Brought to you by Kirin Beer.
All right, this is DaDen once again. I'm your host, Masashi, and I am here, as always, with...
I'm Jay. I'm DaDen and DaDen. I'm the good-looking one out of us two.
I don't know about that.
So welcome back. Here we are.
How are you feeling today?
Feeling better. Feeling good. I've had a few Kirins.
How many is that? How
Just a couple of 5, 4, something like that. But hey, we lose count after 2, so it's okay. But I was feeling sick early in the week, and I'm feeling good right now. So this is going to be an interesting conversation that we're going to be having.
What kind of conversation are we having today?
That's a good question. You tell me.
All I want to talk about today is safety.
Safety
in Japan.
Yes.
So Japan is very known for being safest country. Is it considered safest country?
I think so. And I think it's like globally known as a very safe country.
Yeah, like for example, if I leave my backpack unattended, it's still there.
It would definitely still be there.
But when you do that in the States,
yes.
Ooh, bye-bye backpack.
Yep. New Zealand the same. You leave it away for 5 seconds, it's gone. And 4.
Have you had that before?
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of times. But not like... I left New Zealand when I was really young, so I didn't have valuable items. Oh, well, I had a wallet, but it had nothing in it. I had like a little brick phone, so no one would want to steal that. But things like...
yeah, the Keaton's coming in.
The Karen's coming in. But things like when I was a scooter, I used to have a scooter, like a 2-wheeler scooter. Remember I was at the park and I was playing with some friends. On the field, we were playing like rugby and we all came to the park on scooters. And I remember 2 of our scooters got stolen. And like we could see it, like our scooters in the distance, but for it to be gone just like that was very sad moment. Rollerblades, my rollerblades. Little fact, I'm a rollerblader. Used to love rollerblading. That was my fault. I left them out on the street in the cul-de-sac that I used to live down with my grandparents. Left out on the street. Come back a couple of hours later, gone.
Wow.
So little things like that. But, I left at a young age, so I didn't have overly massive valuable items like a wallet or cell phone or computer, stuff like that. Have you?
Not in the States. Because I mainly rode bike, went to one place to another by car. So I left most of my stuff inside the car. So nothing really happened. Nothing bad. But when I lost a wallet, it never came out. That's about it. I had when I was a young age, I went to this gaming Japan Expo. Then I lost my wallet and never came back. That's about it. But that's all I had. But in Japan, that's the opposite. Not everything, but things come back at one point. So when you came to Japan for the first time, how did you feel about that? Difference?
Still a bit obviously I just came to Japan and it's a whole new country, it's a whole new world. So you still carry those things that you're a little bit scared about leaving your stuff around as if you were to leave it in New Zealand. But over time, I definitely have grown used to the Japanese culture being so safe, the country being so safe. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because I get used to just leaving stuff around and it'll be there. I know it'll still be there. It won't get stolen.
Right.
As if I was to leave it in a foreign country, probably won't be there. So in a good way, I've grown that knowingness of that it's going to be safe. It's a safe country. I know it's still going to be there, but I've grown too used to it that I would just leave it there. It's normal. It's just normal just to leave your bag there unattended come back an hour later, it'd still be there. You do that in another country, it may not be there anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I remember an episode, like I remember experience that I had when I went to the States for work. I lost my cell phone. So I ordered a Uber ride to the mall, and then when I arrived, I got out because I had to attend other Japanese people. So I was translating for them, attending them, making sure they got out, making sure they go into the shopping mall to shop for their presents and stuff. So I like after like 5 minutes, I noticed I don't have my phone. I'm like, oh, I forgot. I left my phone inside the car. So I was panicking a bit. Like, okay, how am I gonna contact this guy? And then I borrowed one of the people that I was with his phone, and I contacted the guy, and he came back with my phone. So I got it back eventually. But that, like, being in a different country other than Japan, and then like kind of being worried that if it's gonna come back or not, that was like a very like eye-opening experience in a way. Like when you're used to this country, you feel so safe.
Yeah.
And then you tend to forget a lot.
Yeah. Kind of take advantage of that feeling.
Yeah.
And when you go abroad, you still feel like it's just normal to feel that safety.
Mm-hmm.
As if you were in Japan.
Yeah, like it reminded me of how you should not like let your guard down.
Yeah, that's a good word, yeah.
But in a way, that was my fault anyway, so like
yeah.
I forgot my phone.
That's true.
Yeah, but it came back, so I was glad.
At least it came back. That was very...
Yeah.
New Zealand, I think the last time I went home, I wouldn't say that it's a dangerous country or a dangerous area, but compared to Japan, there is a massive difference as in like safety. New Zealand, it's a very expensive country at the moment. Like the inflation in New Zealand is ridiculous at the moment. Like I don't know how many people can live there at the moment because it's so expensive. The cost of living. Like I remember the last time I went back, the food courts at all the malls there used to be this butter chicken where it was like, when I was there last, like for a combo, for a whole set, it was like $11 or $13. The last, I just went back in December, January. It's like $23. Like it's gone up $10. So people are frustrated with the inflation that's happening in New Zealand, which has led to a lot of crime and a lot of people stealing or finding other ways to make shortcuts to get food or to get around things that may be too expensive. So it made me appreciate living in Japan, of how the cost of living is quite cheap, but just how people wouldn't go out acting like that, and it's such a safe country to be in, which made me really appreciate that. Like nothing wrong with New Zealand, I love New Zealand. Would I live there at the moment? No, but the safetiness of not having to worry about things like that here in Japan has been massive for me.
Do you watch the news?
No, not really. Not at all, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the reason why I want to talk about like safety is that I want to, in your image, you probably before you coming to Japan, you used to mention that you had an image that Japan is very safe country compared to New Zealand, of course. But that's like recently in Japan, there's been a lot of like violence in a way. Like a lot of time I look at the news, I see a lot of negative news, mostly like parents killing their child, committing suicide, those kind of things. Like especially like the biggest news like that happened like a year ago is the former prime minister being shot with a handmade shotgun during the political how do you say it? The voting period. So that kind of like made me realize like, oh, Japan is starting to become maybe a bit violent in a way, because like recently another thing is like the Ginza where these young guys,
the raids,
Yeah,
the ram
like-
raid that they do.
the raids for the accessories and stuff that happen. So that's like something that Japan's kind of like doesn't experience too much of, because like when I saw the news, like people weren't stopping them, they were just like watching them, thinking that it's like, oh, it must be a movie, they might be shooting a movie or something, but it was actually a raid. So that's like kind of shows like a difference, you know, like in America, like if you see that, like people, like if they don't have a weapon, people might try to stop them, or if they have a weapon, then they will just call the police right away. So, like, you probably read about it, a couple things about that. How did you react to it?
I think that here in Japan, crime and things like that are so rare, so that when it does happen, it becomes massive news. Apart from when the former prime minister got shot with the handmade gun, but the ram raids and the suicides or killing of kids and parents, I think it's so rare here in Japan. Or it gets, when it does get talked about, it gets talked about and like it becomes massive news, just because they're trying to find news and stuff, like interesting stories and like that. But I think like the raids when people go into jewelry stores and steal, it happens so often in countries outside of Japan, which is why it doesn't make top news. Like there's probably like parents that kill their kids, or like in a low poor country that happens every day, but it doesn't become big news because it happens quite often, compared to here in Japan that on the rare occasion it does happen, or when it does happen, it becomes massive news, which makes it sound like the country is just so dangerous. I wouldn't think those few headlines would give the overall title of Japan being dangerous, because those ram raids, that what they did when those guys broke into a jewelry store, I've only heard about it happening that one time, or maybe a couple of times after. But I know in New Zealand, ram raids are like, they occur all the time. Like couple times a week, 3 times a week. That ram raid, well, we've only heard about it. It may have happened more, may not have made news, but we've only heard about it once. So I think just off that one story, because when it does become a massive story, because crime is such a safe country, and when something does happen, it's like massive news. So I think just because of a few stories like that, I still don't think Japan is not safe or a dangerous country, because it rarely happens.
I guess like because it rarely happens, because it's such a safe country, that when they makes headline, it kind of like, it's like a reminder.
Yeah,
in a way.
exactly. Like don't get too
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah, because it could happen to anyone. Because like a raid is a different story, but like, you know, there are a couple, like, you know, that one incident that happened was a raid at a home. These guys, you know, the Luffy incident from I forgot, Philippines, I think. Those guys were in the Philippines, and they got caught. They came back to Japan. That was like another act of like crime that really rarely happens, but happened. So it could happen to anyone, basically. That was like shocking in a way, because like it was done in the country, but the person, the mastermind was outside of the country. So it just shows like how much broad these crimes are becoming in Japan as well. Like yeah, like do you guys have in New Zealand? Do you guys have like scams like calling and stuff like that?
I think so. Like especially with like I'm Polynesian, and I think with Polynesian people, we can tend to be a bit gullible to when we get scams like that, like Ponzi schemes and stuff like that. Like, oh, if you give this amount, you will get this amount. Like like Ponzi's type of schemes that happen
Hmm.
a lot in Japan, and they take advantage of the most vulnerable, which is like low income families. And they give them this ideal that if you give this amount, you will get this much. You just have to try to believe in us, believe in this system. So I do think a lot of that stuff does happen, but it happens to the most vulnerable people, like Polynesians. Sometimes they're a bit oblivious to what the reality of the situation is.
Oh, are you oblivious to?
Not me. I'm not. I'm very smart. I'm a genius. Remember, I can speak 3 languages:
Oh, that's true.
Japanese, French, and Spanish,
What was
and
it?
English. Oh, 4. Man, I'm real genius. But I do think they do have those scams present like anywhere in every country, but they take advantage of the most vulnerable.
Have you, when you came to Japan, have you ever gotten like a message, like short message and stuff like that, like one click one click scam, like get rich scam as well? Have you gotten any of those kind of things and like sort of fell for it?
I've never fell for it, but I do see those messages sometimes when they slip into like Facebook messages or Instagram or whatever. I'm not that gullible.
Oh, really?
Really. I'm a genius, like I said, but there are people that do fall into those scams. Have you?
Oh, a funny story. I have.
Yes. So he's the gullible one, guys.
I have like this made like I have done it in the past. There's this one thing that like I did during my university years is there's this one scam where it's like a love scam in a way. So this person contacts you and they're like we never met, like I want to meet you. I kind of wanted to see how far I could go, so I wanted to test it as well. So this would sound like an excuse, but I did sort of pretended to fall for it to see how far I could go. But at one point, I was very depressed to the point where I kind of fell for it. So I kind of like used my money in a way to like kind of like meet this person, but like it never happens, right? Because behind that wall is some random person just text messaging you and then making you use that money to like message them back and forth. And they say like, oh, you can I'm gonna send you this money so you can message me more, so we could start meeting personally and then get to know each other more. So there are those kind of like love scam, a lot of love
like
scam.
a catfish?
Yeah, in Japan. During my university year, there was a lot of those that came in. And I think like when you're in a certain like state, then you start to kind of fall for those kind of things. So they, like you mentioned, like they target the weak, and then like more they get into it, the more you kind of dive deeper into that. So it's like a very good like I wouldn't say it's a good system, but it's well made. It was to the point where like you kind of forget it's a scam. So it was a experience that I had during my university years. After that, like I just like kind of played around with it, never used money for that. But that one time when I was depressed, yeah, I kind of felt.
Yeah. Now that you talk about like love scams, I think like when you go to like kabakuras.
Oh yeah.
Here in Japan. So kabakura is like a place where you can go drink with females.
Yep.
I think those places they're like a scam
Yeah.
because they will offer you like 30 minutes, 5,000 yen, 3 drinks with beautiful girls. And you're like, oh wow, yeah, let's all go ahead.
Yeah. It's like a different type of strip bar.
Yeah.
Except they don't strip. Well, they are those guys.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, they do.
Where?
They call it in Japanese it's called ichakyaba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Where's the one that you went to?
It's hard to count.
Because I've never been. So which ones have you been?
Have you really never been to one?
I've been to a kabakura. I haven't been to
like
Icha.
a kabakura, meaning like.
Oh, maybe I have been to Icha.
Like club, like they call it club.
Yeah, but my understanding of that is like so they'll offer you like, oh, they're the catch, the guys on the street.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling to Japan, you'll see them everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially in the main districts like Shibuya, Shinjuku.
We call them boys.
Boys. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you'll see them, they're like, oh, hey, you want to drink with beautiful girls, 3,000 yen, 30 minutes, all you can drink. That's what they'll offer you. And you're like, oh, wow, that seems too good to be true. Go in, drink with the girls. Maybe you go over the time limit, but you just think it's just twice the price. Ask for the check. Wow.
Yeah.
It'll be a ridiculous amount. And I think that's like a scam.
Yeah, that's why like in certain part of the city, they have guards to like make sure those catchers don't catch customers.
Yeah.
So they don't get frauded. Because it's like you mentioned, it's a ridiculous price. Like you tend to forget.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you go in, already you're being charged, and then a girl comes in, that's charging as well. And then if you want the girl to stay, that's another charge. And then if you buy them a drink, that's another charge. Your drinks are free, but the drink you give to the girls are not free.
Yeah.
So it just stacks up.
Yeah, I definitely think people that travel here, they just have that assumption that it's a safe country, so nothing like that would happen. But it happens all the time. Just people that come to Japan to travel. Even like massages are like, oh, just a massage for like
The Chinese massage.
yeah, it's like, oh, just a massage. Go into the massage, take your pants off. What the? Okay.
No, it's crazy. Like I've been to Chinese massage before.
Yeah.
How they like grab you. Like I was trying to walk past them.
yeah.
They grabbed my hand. Wow. I thought I was being grabbed by like a man. Strong.
Yeah.
Why won't you let me go? How are you this strong? That's how like, you know, like how much they put in effort in a way. If you say in a good term, it's effort in a way, just like get customers. But that's crazy how much like annoying they can be.
Yeah, definitely. So that's like Japan's safe, but they're not safe in different ways. Like in like that way, like not in terms of crime, but like in terms of you go out on the street, you go to like those kabakuras, those places where you can drink 3,000 yen, or you can drink with a girl. You leave it, the bill's like $300.
Yeah, the red districts are like, if you come here to Japan to enjoy, the red districts is like fun. But that's just if you really want to like, if you have like money left before going back, then spend it. But like going there just for the heck of it, be prepared to be like scammed, like
Definitely.
crazy.
Like,
Have you been? Which one did you go to? Like, which area?
not in Shinjuku area, Shibuya area,
Oh,
in the Kichijoji area.
oh, that's a small
So
area.
I was taken there by like a company person that was really wealthy. So he was like a local there, like a regular there. So he goes there all the time. And we were only there for like 2 hours or something like that. And the girls were like, oh, can I have a drink? I'm like, yeah, sure, help yourself. But they have like a whole different system just for the girls. And then the bill was like 18 man. It was like 1,800.
Damn.
And when he got the bill, he was like, oh, kyo yasui jan. Which means like, oh, it's cheap today. And I was like, that's $1,800 right there. And he's like, that's a cheap day. And I was like, what the? We weren't even drinking that much. We were like talking for a long time, but like a bill came out to like $1,800. I was like, wow, that's just ridiculous.
It like when he said that it was cheaper than usual, I understand that. Like at most that I've been charged more than that before as well. Like I've heard people being charged more than that as well. Like $40,000, like $4,000, 40만, 50만, 100만. People been charged that. Like usually like Kabakura is like more of like wealthy people.
Yeah.
Like that's my image. But like being away from that, like Japan itself, it's a safe country, but my image is like it's a country where scam artists are like top notch.
Yeah.
Compared to other countries. The scam rate in this country is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
I think.
Because I always hear of like elders being scammed of like their pension and stuff like that. Like coming, they even go to their house and meet them in person.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, we need this amount of money for this insurance, which is like not true. But Japan people are just like, oh, okay. And they'll willingly hand their money over. Because it's not like it comes from the least expected person. Like when you see the image of a scam artist, there's no actual image. There's no actual person. There's no this typical image of it. And then when you see them on the news, they're just like an ordinary person. Like your friendly neighbor or something like that. So I definitely think that part of Japan is very scary.
Yeah, like it's high level when it comes to scam art. But do you know it's got there's a system where you go into an organization, and then if you bring another person into that organization, if you kind of introduce them to it, you get money for it. It's like a pyramid system. We call it Nizumiko. It's like a pyramid system where the top guy is right there. There are like bottom people as a pyramid, and then like lower you go, that's the place where all the like money is being made, and then it goes back up. So you make incentive for the amount of people that you introduce. Have you ever had the experience where someone kind of like introduced you to that? Tried to?
No one's ever.
Maybe you're too oblivious.
I don't think so. Not really interested in like. But is that like? Are you talking about like the people that try to get you as izagayas?
Izagaya.
You know how like there's like the catches on the street.
No, it's completely different from that. Just the normal people. There's normal people. Like,
is that like a Ponzi scheme?
Ponzi scheme, yeah. It's like get rich quick kind of scheme. It's basically like it's like a system where a complete pyramid system. So when you look at it, when people like try to like get you into that system, get you into the organization, they usually do a presentation, and then you see it. Every single one of them, same exact concept. A pyramid where there's a guy, and then when you introduce to someone else and they become your bottom, if that person like introduces someone else, that person makes money, you make money. That's how the system goes. That's like a very famous, like one of the most famous scam, get rich quick scam in Japan right now.
Well, I didn't even knew that. For example, what are they trying to scam you of?
Like for example, like beauty product is another. So I had this experience when I was in Shizuoka, when I was working for a PC company. One of the employee was one of them, and then she called. She was asking me like, so Masashi, are you interested in like getting money, making money like a side job? Are you interested in that? I'm like, oh, I am interested in a side job, but what is it? So during that time I didn't know what that system was. I didn't know about it at all. I was oblivious to it. So they called me out to this family restaurant. So I go to a family restaurant, and then I talk with them. So she introduced me to two other guys. And then these guys were like kind of explaining the system to me. So they were selling this product, a beauty product, where it's like a shampoo, I think. It was shampoo. And they said like, if you use this shampoo, your hair will become like healthy. You could use it on the skin as well, and you become beautiful. Your skin will become younger, stuff like that. And then if you buy this, then it's like a subscription fee. And then so she introduced me to this product. So if I bought it, she would get money for it, basically. And then if I introduce this product to another person, then I would get that money from that subscription fee, basically. Then I did research on it, and I found out that was that system. And it was like that's how close they are into your in the society, basically. So
Would
that's
they approach foreigners here in Japan, or mainly just Japanese people?
mainly Japanese. So foreigners, I haven't heard any case about that. Foreigners, there might be a different approach to it, but I've never heard it. Like, but in your case, you speak Japanese, you understand it, so there might be a slight chance that there were people around you who know who does it.
Yeah, maybe. No one's ever approached me.
Well, no, I don't know. You're kind of scary.
Yeah, good. Don't approach me. Know what'll happen.
Yeah, there was that case. During my time when I was in Shizuoka, working in Shizuoka.
Oh wow, never even heard of that. Do you want to know one thing that I find funny about Japan's safetyness?
Mm.
You could leave your bag at a table. You could leave your wallet at a table. Come back an hour later, it'll be gone. You leave your umbrella outside a restaurant. You come back, that'll be gone.
What?
Your umbrella. People steal umbrellas
Oh,
before.
yeah, I've heard about that actually, but that's
I
a
don't
rare
know
case.
how many times my umbrellas have been stolen.
Wasn't it because like you had a similar like umbrella?
People are like if you come with an umbrella, you like they have those little holders
Yeah.
outside of places. Like you know where you put your umbrella.
Yeah.
You know what your umbrella looks like. If you don't have an umbrella, you wouldn't even look there.
That's true because like when you go to the convenience store, there are those just holes.
Yeah.
You stick it in there. But whenever there's a rain and I have an umbrella, I'm kind of hesitant to leave it there for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that it might get stolen. That's the funny kind of like psychological thing. But when I was in that's why like some of the like good restaurants or like some of the good like areas have a lock for an umbrella.
Yep.
When I found out that there's a lock for umbrella, I'm like, why would you want to use this?
People will steal your umbrella before your wallet.
People do steal umbrellas. It's funny.
They'll steal your umbrella before your wallet.
It's crazy, yeah.
Another one, bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
People will steal your bicycle before your wallet. I don't know how many times my bicycle has been stolen.
Oh, really?
Here in Japan, yes. I leave it out. It's my fault because I don't put it in those official locks. But I'll just leave my bike in outside a McDonald's or something, and I'll leave it there for a couple of hours, or overnight, come back, it'll be gone.
If it's overnight, I think
whether it's been towed away or it's been stolen. But I remember like a couple of times when my bike has been stolen, and I've found it.
Oh, really?
Well, the police have found it, like just torn up. Like I don't think they steal it to use it all the time.
They want the parts, right?
They just steal it for the parts, or they steal it because they want it for that night. Like if you last train home, no taxis. Your house is like 50-minute walk, 30-minute bike ride. They see an unlocked bike or a bike that's just chilling on the road. They'll probably ride that. And then they'll just leave it, not near their house, but around their house. You report your bike to the police that it's been stolen and they'll find it there. So that's what I find funny is before your wallet or your cell phone or your computer, protect your umbrella and your bicycle.
There was a case where a person stole a scooter, a razor. You know, there's just like a kickboard scooter.
Yeah.
So this guy was like walking past this house, and this house had a security camera, and they had all the footage of it. He kept on walking back and forth, and then he went towards the door, and he grabbed the scooter, and he walked away. Like, wow, why would you want to steal a scooter? That didn't make sense to me at all. But like, there are people like that, like you mentioned, like bicycle as well, definitely.
Yeah, I find it weird. Like, you would want to take an umbrella.
Umbrella.
But I can understand, like, when an umbrella is needed, it's needed. But like an umbrella, like you gotta fall that low to steal an umbrella.
I mean, that doesn't cost much either.
I know, but like, yeah, exactly. Well, it doesn't cost so much, and you just want to like, oh, oops, I thought that was my umbrella.
Yeah. It feels like a brand umbrella, like Gucci umbrella or something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I understand, but like, of what? A plastic umbrella?
A convenience store 500 yen
umbrella
that everyone steals.
Like,
or a $60 bike that like you're only gonna ride it once. Tires popped about 100 times, and you want to steal that. Oh my god, those are the only two things that I've had stolen here in Japan. It's my bicycle and my umbrellas.
Oh, okay.
My sweet umbrellas. So if you're out there, give my umbrellas back. Because I missed them.
I'm sure that's been already dealt with. So.
Yes. You know who you are. You definitely won't be stealing umbrellas ever again. If you're alive.
So when you first time, like, you know, like leaving your stuff, did you feel hesitant to leave your stuff from the at first?
No, at first I was definitely hesitant. Just because, like, you know, you're always taught not to just leave your belongings unattended. So at first I would never be so careless. But as time went on and I learned that Japan is a very safe place, they've grown a bit too comfortable and just very open to leaving, like, my phone on the table. Or like if you go Starbucks and you have nothing on you and you need to reserve your seat because it's so, and you only have your phone or your wallet on you just leave your phone there. Like you see it all the time. Like even if you're at Starbucks and you're working on your computer and you need to go to the toilet, people are they have so much confidence and so much belief that it's so safe.
Yeah.
They'll just leave the computer there and just go to the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
You do that in an overseas country, it's not going to be there by the time you're back.
Mm-hmm.
So that just shows how safe it is and how normal it is just to do stuff like that. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because if you grow too comfortable to that, you go overseas and you might do the same thing. Like for me, when I went back to New Zealand, I would be hanging out with my mates. Although like my mates are there, I'll leave my phone on the table just like I would if I was in in Japan. Go to the toilet. But before I left the toilet, my mates were like, hey, you gonna leave your phone there? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Oh, what you're not gonna take your phone with you? And I'm like, oh, why, you guys gonna steal it? And they're like, no, but like just growing so accustomed to how safe it is. But you have to be kind of aware of your surroundings as well. Like, it's good to think like that, but still have like what would you say? Don't grow too accustomed to it.
I never had those kind of like moments. When I go back to the States for work, I always like carry my stuff every time. So I'm more kind of aware in a way where I go. So other than Japan, like if I'm out of the country, I will never leave my stuff. I'm really hesitant to leave my stuff. Even if I have to go to the restroom, even if I have to leave my seat for other people to take, doesn't matter. Like if I'm the only person there, then I would never leave my stuff. I think that's one like mindset that I have in a way. I'm not, so that in that sense I'm not too I guess I'm not too Japanese. So
when you carry, because your equipment that you would carry to your shoots that you do, like your equipment would probably be a lot of money that you carry in a case. And that's a lot of stuff that you have to carry. Regardless, would you just take it with you?
Yep.
Even if you were to the bathroom?
Yep.
Well, that's a lot of carry. Because I remember one time you had like a trolley of stuff. So you always would carry that wherever?
If I'm if I'm by myself, yes. If I'm with someone, then I'll leave it with them. Or if I'm with a client that I could trust, then I'll leave it there as well. But in Japan, I've never had a case where people steal those, even regardless of the equipment, to steal it. So I am guilty of it. I do leave it sometimes, regardless. But I always carry my camera with me whenever I'm filming. That's one thing I carry.
So you've never had a case of any of your equipment or
Being stolen? No.
anything being stolen?
Nothing expensive, at least.
What about your umbrella?
Umbrella, yes, a lot of
Yeah,
times.
see. Umbrella. There's a lot of umbrella thieves here in Japan, everyone. Keep your umbrellas close to yourself.
Really, yeah. Especially in the rainy days.
Yeah, definitely, because rainy days was like, so annoying if you don't have an umbrella. And rainy days just come out of nowhere too, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Just for another green beer. I'm talking about safety here in Japan. Like, why?
Don't drink and drive.
Oh.
Sound of safety. Safety net of Karen beer.
Safe to drink a nice beer in Japan. Japanese beer.
You drive here.
Yeah.
Is driving here safe?
Compared to the States, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I always think.
Wait,
like
why do you think it's? Why do you think it's dangerous in Japan? Do you think it's dangerous in Japan?
I think it's dangerous.
Okay, lately, yeah, Japan's a bit dangerous because there are a lot of like stressful drivers.
Yep.
So, I've had one case. Not one case. I've had a couple cases actually where like these drivers just like frustrate me, like, and then so. Japan is very like small when it comes to America has like 4 or 5 lanes that you could drive in. I don't know how many lanes you guys have in New Zealand. How many you guys have? 2, 3?
2.
Oh, okay. So it's same as Japan. But Japan like freeway, there's like only 3, 4 at most lane that you could get on, depending on the location. But like, so there are fast lane where you could like pass through all the other cars. Depending on the car. Whenever I go into the fast lane, there's this one car that just loves to get on my tail. So they tailgate me every time. And then when I move out, they like stare at me when they pass through. Like, wow. They're like, I've only had those kind of cases where just people just tailgate me. There are cases where a lot of drivers has experienced like these guys like stopping in the middle of freeway, trying to like get their frustration out and then just riding away. And there are other cases where this driver just comes out, knocks on your car door, just tells you to get out. There are cases like that. So I guess, yeah, Japan driving is a bit dangerous compared to the States, but the States is much more, I think, like it's prone to more accidents because it's bigger in a way, and there are cases where like people gets frustrated with each other. So
I think Japan's like their level of driving is not that good. That's what I believe.
I agree with that, actually.
Because like all my mates that I play with, like they've had their licenses since they were like university or since they were young.
Yeah.
But they don't drive. And then when they do drive, they're like so scared.
Yeah.
They call it like paper driver.
Yeah, paper driver, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like driving's not that hard. Like it's just confidence and just using your brain, just using your head. These guys thinks it's like the most toughest thing that they've ever done. They're like steering wheels like at their head and they're like driving like that. So they've got a license, and then my mates, like, they have gold licenses, and they can't even drive. And I'm like, if you just do your time, you get a gold license.
Yeah, because if you don't, even though if you don't drive, if you have a driver's license and you don't drive for 4 years, either way, you're gonna get a gold license. Yeah, because you don't have anything.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of people there, especially in the Tokyo area where a car is
not a necessity.
And when they do drive out of the random, it's like, oh, it's the most scariest thing in the world for them. It's like, oh my gosh, now I have to drive. And it's like, it's just confidence, and they just don't have confidence in driving. And that's when I think it's like, oh man, it's just, if I'm riding in the passenger, I'm like, I'm gonna die today. Tell my mom I love her. It's like the most scariest thing. Like Japanese drivers, like not trying to say it's just strictly them, but like when they do drive, they're a bit scared.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I've been through that experience a lot of times, where like a drive like this, I get on the car, this person's like, oh yeah, it's been a while since I drove, so if you can help me out as well, that'd be great. I'm like, what? Don't say that. That scares me.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't
be
sleep.
confident.
Don't sleep.
Yeah.
You're sitting next to me. Don't sleep, okay? All right, be awake. Why do you need me awake for? I'm not the one driving. Don't fall asleep, okay? I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Definitely think like it's like that. And then the roads are real small too. Like especially in the Tokyo area where it's like a lot of one-way roads.
Yeah.
You make the wrong turn. You don't take the angle good enough. You're gonna scratch the car or you're gonna crash.
Yeah, like I had so many cases where like I'm just driving and someone just cuts right in because they made a mistake. You could tell they made a mistake. It's like, oh, this guy made a mistake. It's probably gonna come in. It's like, oh, there you go, comes in.
And then as you're driving, you're a lot of bicycles on the road.
Oh yeah.
So especially when you go down suburban streets, when there's a lot of people biking home from work or biking home from school, you have to navigate bikes on the side of the road as well. So that's another thing that's like a little bit dangerous for them to try and navigate.
Right.
Which is why I think road safety over here is just...
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, yeah.
And then you got 1,000 taxis are on the road as well, trying to get from point A to point B and pulling over randomly at random times and stuff like that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, I never want to drive behind a taxi.
Yeah.
Because at some point, they're going to stop right in front of you. Like, without even, like, warning. Like, if they're going to warn me, like, you know, like, 10 meters before they're going to stop, then yeah, that's fine. 10 meters. Is that 10 meters close? I don't know if that's... let's make it, like, 100 meters.
Whoa.
If they're going to warn me ahead of time, then yeah, I don't mind. But, like, every time, they just, like, stop right off the bat because they want to pick up that customer. Like,
yeah, I know.
That frustrates me so much.
Taxis are so crazy around it. Give you a way to get around, but they're driving in front of you. They just randomly pull over, randomly stop. 1,000 buses on the road too. Yeah. They pull over at random times. If it's a one-way road, they're gonna take up the whole lane.
Like bus, you could kind of tell they're gonna stop, but taxi, you can never read their when they're gonna stop. Like if they're, regardless, like if they're not picking up customer, they already have a customer inside it. You never know what the customer's gonna say. It's like, oh, please stop right there. And all of a sudden they're gonna listen to them. They're gonna stop right there without even like thinking twice. So, that taxi drivers are scary in my sense.
Yes. Another question: nightlife safety.
Nightlife safety.
So, do you think like clubs or bars here in Japan, apart from the Kabakura system where they take your money away, do you think it's safe? Say if there was girls traveling, a girls trip, do you think it's a safe night out for them to hit the clubs in Tokyo or Japan area, or for the girls to go to a bar? Do you think it's quite safe for them, or do you think it's dangerous?
Compared to other countries, I think it's safe. But it's a good question actually. You could never. It's difficult to say how safe. You know, like if the girls could take care of themselves, then yeah, it's probably safe. But safer than other countries. I mean, they're not gonna get drugged and like taken away or anything like that. But that depends on the club as well. So, but it's compared to other countries, it's safe. I think. Safe.
I definitely think it's a safe nightlife here. Like you'll get guys come up to you, especially if him like hit on you. Yeah. But like they're just like little scrawny guys over here. They're not
compared to you, yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I haven't worked out for a wee while, but thank you. But yeah, like I definitely think the nightlife here is safe. There's not people trying to. There's no fights. Like there are fights here and there, but they're not with the Japanese people. It's usually foreigners that travel here. They're starting fights within themselves out on the streets. So I definitely think nightlife here is safety, especially like you're not going to get your drinks spiked or anything like that. I don't think there's none of that. I've never heard cases of that, and guys like physically trying to abuse girls, stuff like that. I've never really heard cases like that. And I think foreign ladies, if they travel here, I think they can hold themselves well enough against people over here in Japan.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I've never heard of a case either. And yeah, I never heard of foreign women getting bad experience. My image of them is like they tend to be able to take care of themselves pretty well compared to Japanese girls. So, like, if it was just Japanese girls, then yeah, I'll be kind of worried. But if it's just like foreign women who are trying to enjoy the night, enjoying the life in Japan, then, I've never heard any bad cases of that. So,
what about gangs here in Japan?
there are like none. I wouldn't say none. There are yakuzas, yes, like, but the real yakuzas are kind of like extinct. It's more like just hooligans trying to be yakuza in a way. So depending on where you go, yes, it's dangerous. But other than that, there's no like, compared to America where you go to Compton and you see a bunch of like gangsters like shooting out, and there's nothing like that here.
Have you ever had any incidents with the yakuza or a gang?
Not that I know of. Have you?
I have.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I hope my mum's not watching this, but yeah, I have once. It wasn't actually my fault.
Oh.
I met a couple of Australians at a bar. Australians. Typical. But two great guys, and I met them at a bar, and we were walking down the street, and we were all drunk, and he pushed over a sign accidentally, one of the guys, and it fell onto some scaffolding, and the sign went straight through it. So the sign was broken, and it was for a sex place, for like a shop, like I think it was like a brothel or something, that he pushed over. And next minute you just see like the guys on the street, like, hey, what did you do? And then next minute people come down the stairs, like, oh, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? Pay for it, fix it. And at that time I didn't know what they were saying. All I know is they were yelling, and I just said, run. So we ran, and like there was like 4 of them in front, and I'm like, I can like push them away. I was like, I don't want to get in a fight, so I was just like, I would push them away, and we're running away, and I dropped my wallet.
Oh no.
And I dropped my wallet, and I was like, oh no. So I went back, and I told the other 2 to run off. I wasn't the one that pushed it over, but I went back and to ask for my wallet back, and they were like following me, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna die. That's honestly my fear. Luckily I was like a little bit intoxicated, a little bit drunk, and my adrenaline was like really high, and I was like survival mode, and they're like, follow me. I was just give my wallet back. But at that time there was like 10, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. And typical, 2 Australians literally did run away. And I went back and I was like, oh, whatever, just got to deal with it, I've got to do it. So they're like, come with us, led me to the stairs, into the place, back room, and I was staying in this room, and there was like 5, and like I was like survival mode. I was like, all right, if this is the end, I'm going out swinging.
John Wick style.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna grab that pen, stab you, left kick you in the balls, right elbow. Like I was thinking, man, how am I gonna? Like, I'm gonna have to go out swinging. And next minute, this guy, just massive, real big, short, bald-headed, fat guy, just comes out of nowhere. White shirt, but you could see through the white shirt. And you could just see he was colored up with tattoos. And I was like, oh. I'm dead. And he was like, and the first thing he goes to me, why are you here? And I was, in English, that was funny thing. I was like, I'm owning up. I apologize. It wasn't me, but I'm here. And he was like, I respect your courage, but what you did was wrong. And I was like, yeah, I apologize. That's I didn't do it, but I'll own up to it. And he was like, you will pay for it. Oh no, yeah, he was like, you will pay for it. I was like, yeah. He was like, $1,000, like Juman. I was a student at the time. I was like, I don't have that money. And he was like, but not you. You're gonna get your friends to pay for it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, I'm going to give you this bank account. You're going to send it with their money by tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, what were you expecting to do? And I was like, oh, if I was to die, I was going to go out swinging. And he was like, okay. And he just sent me away.
Oh, with your wallet?
Oh, with my wallet, yes. And I was like, oh. Luckily, I had the two people, and they were really wealthy.
Oh, okay.
Well, not them, their parents. They were architects from Australia. And I go to them, oh, you guys have to pay $2,500.
10 each.
No, I took $1,500
for your safety.
And I was like, oh. They were like, oh, we're so sorry. We can pay for it. And I was like, yeah, that's all they've asked. They're like, oh, how much? I was like, $2,500.
You should ask for more.
They gave me $3,000.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, I think it should be okay. But those two Australians to this day, I still know them.
Oh, really?
Good friends with them, really wealthy, two really cool kids, two really cool guys that I've met. And yeah, they're probably just finding out that I took more right now. But hey, that's your fault, not my fault.
Like you were gonna die.
Yeah, that was like, I was literally like it may seem a bit exaggerated, but that's like literally, I was like,
that's like a movie.
I know,
material.
I was like, because when I was like, it was stairs and I was waiting in this room, and he just walks like straight past me. But like the other 5 guys that were like around me, they were like, I was like, yeah, I can take them. Probably not, but I was like, they're just small, like normal guys, like young teenagers that probably just work trying to get people to come to the shop. But when he walked by, he was like this fat, short
kingpin,
and he was like white shirt, black pants. Could see through the white shirt. It was like colorful. I was like, oh, that's not good. And then I was like, oh man, I was like, where's the exit? And I'm just gonna go out swinging. And then he was like, what were you thinking? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm here to own up. I apologize, it wasn't me, but I'll pay for it.
Was he like, he's Japanese?
He was Japanese, but he spoke English.
Oh wow, that's a
he's like perfect English. It's like perfect English.
Wow.
Yeah. He said, what were you expecting?
That was his first word.
Yeah, I was like I apologize. Like, I'll pay for it. I'll take ownership. It wasn't me, but I own up to it. But I think he knew that it wasn't me because he must have like checked before he come out. And yeah, he's like, not you, your friends. I was like, yeah, I'll get it. You guys owe me $3,000.
Well, wow, that's a quite an experience.
So that was my first and only and last experience dealing with the Japanese gang.
Dang.
It was a pretty scary moment, but that was lucky. That was my last one.
Yeah, like your story, I could completely imagine the situation, like dark room.
It was like
blue
red.
neon light.
It was like red, red velvet everywhere. I was like, what the hell is this place?
It's like a dragon somewhere.
I was scared. Like, in the stairs, it was like this real narrow, long stairs, real old, rusty place. And you get to the top, and it was like this red velvet place. I was like, what the hell is this place? I was just standing there, and he just walks past. I was like, oh no.
That's when the big J becomes a little J.
And I was like, oh, thought I could take everyone. No, I can't.
Dang, that I've heard. I've never heard of stories like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like still fresh here, like 3rd year or 4th year into Japan.
Oh, well, that's quite a good experience. When
Yeah, so I got that out of the way real quick.
Good introduction to Japan too.
But even like having like the confidence, like just because I knew it was a safe place, I knew like, I kind of like had this thing that they're not gonna murder me. This is Japan. They're not gonna murder me. Like if that was like overseas, you'd probably be shot in the head or something like that. Because I knew they had no guns, or maybe they did, and they didn't look like they had like weapons or knives or anything.
They usually have like those like small knives.
Something like, I was just like, I'm going out swinging. Well, that was my first and last run with a Japanese gang.
Yeah, like Japanese gangs, like brothels and stuff, like pachinko. Those are rumored to be owned by a bunch of gangs.
Yeah.
So, I've never had that experience.
You never, Don't trust me. You don't want to do it. Especially you. You probably pee yourself.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm really sorry.
I'll pay for it.
I know this guy from New Zealand who will pay for it.
But I was so far. I was like, you guys sent me $3,000. That's $2,000 for me, $1,000. But I actually gave them $1,500. Just like a little bit extra, just to like, sorry. I'm so sorry. But I was scared because I was setting up from my bank to theirs.
Oh, that's true.
And it was like gonna have my name on it and stuff like that. I was like,
well, either way, like if they had your wallet, you must have had your like student ID with you. So
no, I don't really carry much in my wallet on a night out.
Oh,
it's just my bank card, but I had my Visa.
Oh, okay.
Because cops stop you. Where's your Zaidu card, your Visa card?
Yeah.
So I had that on me, which was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Address and everything on there.
Yeah.
So they knew where I lived. But
So
it was a
either way-
dormitory, so it was fine.
Yeah. Well, either way, they still cracked you. I'm surprised they don't contact you anymore. Like,
No, I've never had anything ever since that day.
no, I guess he stayed true to.
Yeah, and like I remember it was down like one of the main streets in Shibuya. I avoided that street for like 2 years.
You don't avoid it now?
Nah, because I'm not scared anymore. Well, like for like 2 years, I avoided that street, and it's like the main middle street.
Oh, I know what you're
Shibuya.
talking about now. Okay.
And like I walked around it for like 2 years.
That middle street? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
And I was like, then I was over it. But I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
After the corona and stuff, a lot of stores been going down. So, dang, that's a crazy story. What a way to end it.
Yeah, I know. I beat up some Yakuza's now.
John Wick style.
Yeah. Right. Stab you with the pen, grab the pencil, throw it at you, headbutt you.
That's like this one movie he timed himself like how many he could-
Equalizer.
Equalizer, yeah.
Equalizer.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
That's
yeah.
my uncle.
I would believe you if you say that.
That's my uncle. Facts.
Denzel Washington.
John Wick.
Before John
That's
Wick is
my
Denzel
cousin.
Washington.
John Wick, that's my cousin.
That's your cousin. Okay. What a really strong story to end it today. So, as always, thank you guys for watching and listening to our podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe and like the video. And we do have a Patreon as well, so if you can support us through that as well. Any last word for you?
Don't get into fights with the Yakuzas. Avoid the middle streets. Nah. Japan's a safe place.
It is.
Open to anyone to visit over here. It's very safe. You don't have to worry about anything. So if you
have Jay become your bodyguard. 100%. No one's gonna
$3,000.
That's expensive.
$3,000 plus tax. And I only take euros.
Oh damn, that's expensive.
But no, yeah, definitely Japan's a safe place. Would love to see anyone over here. So if you're ever around, message DaDen. I'm the Den.
I'm
the Jayden. That's the Da.
That's the what?
Gonna love and leave you.
All right, see you guys. Until next time.
See ya.